Is Linda right there with you? Alright, I'm gonna call him back. You good? Okay.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
I don't know why what's going on.
Okay, now can you hear me? Hello, sir. Hi. Try logging in. Alright, here, hang on. Try this link. Just give me a minute.
Hi.
Yes, I'm saying it right now. There you go.
What do you think, Roy?
Hey, Ryan.
Hello? Hello? Got, got rid of the noise, background noise.
Yep.
I have I have a label in the corner that says sound monitoring, and I just clicked on that. No, it just shows the headset, and that's it. Where's Uncle Left? Can you hear me, Mary?
Len's having technical difficulties, and I'm on the phone with him right now, fixing it.
Oh, okay. I'll wait patiently.
You have a little. You'll hear a little background noise because I have my phone right here.
Okay, no problem. Plug my computer in. I'm fine now. No, I'm fine. Wait on Tuesday, which okay. Hi, Captain Len Kaine.
So I'm looking at her. It says, Unveiling the Valor with Captain Len Kaine.
You are good to go, sir.
Can hear you.
But I can't get anything to do it. It won't open up.
Well, good
No.
afternoon, Captain Len Kaine.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're on the show, right?
Absolutely. Good afternoon to the
Well,
Friday edition of Golden Rule Society and Hope Collection Optimize Your Life radio show. We're excited to have you aboard. Looking forward to this being a great day as we're kind of really the end of March, beginning of April, so that we can go forward to this next quarter. And one exciting thing that's happening next month is the Carnival Cruise Line with the ship called Freedom out of Cape Kenai. We have the port. We will be heading to Turks and Caicos, where Carnival Cruise will be honoring Captain Len Kaine during the cruise as we go from Monday to Friday on that cruise, and everybody that's registered is excited about we're heading out, getting our toothbrush together and our sun hats and suntan oil, and we'll get ready to fly out and so Len, we're so excited about getting together, hanging out with you and it's going to be an incredible. I know Jim Kyle and his wife are coming. Um, Kurt and Cindy and David. I'll be joining you. So looking forward to it.
Um, Ladies and gentlemen, this is Captain Len Kaine, founder of the Golden Rule Society charity for the past 53 years almost.
Wow.
And we've been helping children, churches, charities nationwide, worldwide. And the nice part of this program is the Hope Collection's wonderful opportunity to share all the wonderful things that we're offering to the world. And we're not selling anything. That's the nice part about it. We have just families, friends, neighbors, churches, charities, nationwide and worldwide. And as Ron usually mentions, I've only got 5 nominations for the Nobel Peace Prize. And in 2014, number 2 in the world. And that's the wonderful part. And I stress the fact we're not selling anything. We're offering opportunities to help make it a better world for you, your family, your friends, your neighbors, your church, your charity. So do yourself a big favor, ladies and gentlemen. Have a piece of paper and a pen handy because I'm going to give you some good guidance on places that you can visit and take advantage of the gifts. And again, most everything is free except some things are better than free. And that's the nice part about it. Being able to serve and help make it a better world tugs at the heartstrings because when you find out and you know that the things you're doing are helping saving lives, not only for yourself, but your family and friends and everybody else, and make it a better world. And I'm going to tell you about, in a little while, the Golden Rule Society's worldwide kindness campaign. And again, all free. And the nice part about it, we have organizations here, there, and everywhere that are taking advantage of it and using it. As a matter of fact, I got to brag a little bit about one of our senior advisors in the Golden Rule Society charity. And by the way, we're all non-paid volunteers. So we got about a dozen senior advisors now very successful people in their business, in their lives, and it's wonderful. And Mary Stanley was one of them. She served in the military, and now she is a super duper performer, helping the world in so many ways. And she knows about the kindness campaign, and this is going to knock your socks off. So she was so enthused about it, she talked to the principal and the superintendent of the schools where her two children are going. And she said, "You got to look at this and see what a wonderful opportunity it is." So she encouraged both the leaders to allow them to open up what we call a kindness club in each of the rooms at the schools where the kids are going. Now, here's the deal now. The kindness club doesn't interfere with what the teachers and the educators are trying to teach. No way, shape, or form. But the children among themselves, they're courteous, they're kind, and they're representing themselves to help make it a better world with them and their families. And it's being very successful. And here's the deal. Here's our challenge. We want to go nationwide and worldwide. Wouldn't it be nice to have every every classroom and every school in the world going along with the kindness campaign? And I promise you, I'm going to give you the full program for the kindness campaign. It's very simple and it's very powerful, and you're going to love it. And again, I'm stressing it's all free. And that's the nice part about why we're here on this earth. We want to help make it a better world. And I jokingly tell people that I'm very busy doing the work of the Lord, and He doesn't pay me anything, but I understand His retirement program is out of this world. At least we hope and pray for that, and that's the nice part about it. And you heard Mr. Ron Clayton, and he is one of our senior advisors, and he filled in for a friend of mine who became a dear friend. We had something in common. Mr. Joel Griffin was his name. We were both from the state of Pennsylvania. Okay, we met later on, but he's a brilliant man, and he became a senior advisor to 3 presidents of the United States. That was the quality of this gentleman, Joel Griffin. And he founded this Hope Collection. And sadly, I shouldn't say sadly, but he heard about what I was doing with the Golden Rule Society, and he called me on the phone one day. And what he did, he said, "Len, I've been following what you've been doing with the Golden Rule Society charity." And he says, "I would like very much to offer to be a senior advisor in the Golden Rule Society charity." And ladies and gentlemen, it took me about a second to say, "Welcome aboard." How can you turn down anybody with that quality? Well, again, life goes on, but sadly, Capt got him. So the Lord called him home. And now Mr. Ron Clayton, who is another super duper senior advisor, he is now the president of the Hope Collection, and he's on board today as well. And he is the super duper guy, very much involved in putting on organizations, presentations, and near his home state. And that's the nice part about it. And this coming May, we're all going to be going on a cruise trip out of Florida, and we're going to be making presentations to the people who are on the cruise and all the wonderful things that are going on. and the people, the place is going to be full, and that's the nice part about it because it's attractive. Because Mr. Ron Clayton has done this up in his home state, and I was invited to be the guest speaker, and they covered it, the program up there, with free video organizations that were broadcast nationwide, telling people about the wonderful things that we have opportunity. And the nice part about it, all free. Most everything's free. Some things are better than free. And everybody was happy and they come aboard. And you are invited to join. And I'll give you the link, how to get it, and take advantage of all the benefits. And I'm going to stress it all the time. We're not selling anything. Most everything is free, and some things are better than free. So it's your choice, and you can share it with your family, friends, neighbors, churches, and charities, and whoever you like, because that's why we're here on this earth. And one of the things that I really am enthused about, years ago, I was a Navy fighter pilot. Graduated high school back there in Pennsylvania. The day after graduation, I was off to the Navy. And as I was ready to leave, I had my bag packed, ready to go. And my mother, God bless her, she stopped me and she said, Lenny, I want you to remember this. Wherever you go, whatever you do, whoever you meet, be kind. Now, those two words are in my heart, in my soul, and in my mind. And I carried it on. And off I went to the Navy, going to the schools that they had, and boot camp, as most people call it and know it. And they said, hey, Len, you did good on the entrance exams. He says, would you like to take the exam to see if you're qualified to go to Navy flight training? I said, well, gosh, I thought you needed at least 2 years of college. They said, yes, you have 2 years of college and your background. I said, I just graduated high school, never been to college. But anyway, they got that. Next thing I know, I'm down in Pensacola, Florida, flying Navy airplanes. And off it went for many years. And the point I want to make you right now is before combat, I was a tactics instructor. And what we did was teaching people how to fly airplanes in tactics. And it was very successful. As a matter of fact, I set a world record flying 6 different airplanes in 2 days, different types of airplanes, all in air combat maneuvering. And the tactics we got, people give it a nickname. They call it the Capt program, Kaine Air Tactics. And it was implemented by the Air Force, heard about it, and they picked it up. One of the leaders of the Air Force visited me, and he wanted to know what the tactics were all about. So he and his executive officer were there. They spent about 3 hours with me, and I showed them and told them how to do it. And this was over in combat over in Vietnam. And about just less than a week later, after I had given the briefing and teaching him how to do this stuff, he got in touch with me and said, Len, we have virtually cut our losses in half, and they're going down every day. That's the nice part about it. We're busy saving lives. And you know what a nice feeling it is to know that the things you're doing to help others is saving lives? That's a marvelous feeling. As I say, tugs at the heartstrings. So anyway, long story short, both that same sort of a thing, and I love to tell about this. Years later, after I was pretty much out of the Navy, and one of our senior advisors was a retired Marine. His name is Jim Kyle, and he helps work with Ron Clayton. But the point is, he called me one day and he says, Len, you got to get down to Florida. I'm sorry, he is in Florida. He says, you got to get down to Texas and meet this gentleman, Mr. Alexander Candelario. I said, well, who is he? Why should I have to go down and meet him? He says, I'll tell you why. You need to do it. So I did. Went down to Texas, and Mr. Alexander Candelario was a Marine in combat in Vietnam. I'm up at altitude. He's down on the ground. Of course, you do don't get a chance to meet anybody there. I'm flying the aircraft from the aircraft carrier, the USS Enterprise, which was the largest concentration of controlled nuclear power in the world. We had 8 nuclear reactors downstairs, boiling water, I would tell people. Incredible. So back to the visit down to Texas, and I said, well, Mr. Candelario, what are we doing here? And he, technology-wise, brilliant man, brilliant. And he was going to college, and he showed me what he was doing, and I'm going to knock your socks off with this story. Mm-hmm. He showed me what he was doing. He called his organization that he was just putting together INTIVA, INTIVA, informational, technology, video, audio, and over the internet. So I watched it and looked at it, and I said, "Hi, Alexander, we got to put your organization in business." So what we did, we funded his organization. We created his corporation and put him in business. And this is years ago. But here's the things that, like I said, I'm going to knock your socks off. His organization right now is called Antiva Health, is now the world's leader of medical professionals in the world, not just locally in the US of A, but in the world. Can you imagine that? Going from starting in a classroom to being the number one. And I'm going to give you our website, and you can go visit and you can see this, because later this month, my wife Ann and I are going over to Arizona, and Ann and I will help raise the flag on the 3rd manufacturing plant. The new plant is only 5 times larger than the previously two plants that we have in business. And the new one is 5 times larger, because the exponential growth of Antiva Health just knocks your socks off. It's amazing, because the hospitals, the doctors, nurses, or any organization that supports the medical industry, all coming on board, and just magic. So, because you know what? This program, the Antiva Health Program, is benefiting you and yours. Because when the doctor says, oh, you better take this new stuff, and this new stuff is probably coming out of the Antiva Health Program, because we're getting the best people, the best solutions in the world, nationwide, worldwide. And I'm not going to be too terribly redundant with it, but isn't that a nice feeling? I tell my buddies all the time, my wife Ann and I, we wake up in the morning and say, I wonder how many lives we saved today. How many people are not suffering pain and a big difficulty because of the Antiva Health Program. And it goes on and on. And I'll tell you, I got wonderful recommendations to you, but I'm going to continue on with all the stuff that we're doing, because that's knocks your socks off. I say it over and over again. On wonderful stuff, opportunities. So let me give you that again. to get the gifts and all. Get your paper and pen handy, and all you have to do is to visit our website. Gifts for you. Golden Rule Society, we've been doing this for more than 52 years. Again, we're not selling anything, and we all non-paid. And we're just here doing the work of the Lord, helping to make it a better world. So you got to visit, and you know how this goes. Write this down: www.goldenrulesociety, and that's all one word, no spaces, goldenrulesociety.org, O-R-G. Simply means we're a charitable, nonprofit, tax-exempt corporation, nationwide, worldwide. And it's just wonderful feeling to know what we're doing, being the world's leader of medical professionals in the world. So, Ron, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it over to you because I have a little sip of my coffee here, and we're going to get back in whenever you're ready. Turn it back over to me, and I'll jump right in.
Well, thanks a lot. We're so glad that you with us today. And each day that we're so privileged because you've had such experience in the years that you have flying. Even I was a fighter pilot. And I'm always amazed when I'm reading your biography. And you were talking about the day the days that you up there flying different aircraft, fighter aircraft, combat. And you think about it, you're the speed of sound, and you could have plans, you could have a wingman with you, and you're flying tip to tip, maybe a few inches from the end of your wing to his wing, and you're flying at that speed, and you got to make a turn or go straight up, down. The the nerves of steel you must have to be able to continuously control in the air. I mean, you've got pitch and yaw, you got right and left, up and down. I mean, it's just amazing the mathematics it takes to operate something like that successfully. And then later you to do the airline pilots for the different airfare companies. And you did that for another 25 years, I believe. And that's when you started the Golden Rule Society. And you do that. Your story about how you started that. I love that story. Maybe when you come back, if you don't mind sharing that, because it's the roots of the Golden Rule Society that today you're still operating and making a difference. So we're just really so proud of you that you could just go off on an island. You basically are an island. Coronado is a beautiful island in San Diego. You got to get there by bridge. And you're right across from the Navy shipyard where the huge battleships and aircraft carriers come into town. And you remember when we went down there, and you were going to take us on the Nimitz. Came in a huge aircraft carrier, I think 4,000 people on board it, and you wanted to go take a tour of it. And of course, we walked into the base, and the other Marines were protecting it. And they came to the door, and they were so nice. And they just said, "Well, hello," and they saluted you like. And by the way, you were in your uniform, your Hawaiian shirt, your flip flops, and a shirt and shorts. They just walked. They knew who you were, and that was so exciting. Um, we were going to go to dinner. We didn't have time to actually go on board the ship. And the troops that were guarding the ship, they had their guns, AK-47s and machine guns, and I tell you what, you didn't want to make any mistakes with those guys. So it just was an exciting time.
And it still is. God bless you for all the wonderful things that you're doing. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you know there are more things going on. And I told you about Antiva Help, but here's the thing. with Mr. Ron Clayton talking about. He's got an organization that you can find on our website that I gave you already, and it's called Hope for You, because their organization, the Hope Collection, and here it is, helping the needy worldwide. Hope for You. When you go there, it's on our website. Success for You. It says educational, motivational, inspirational, character building guidance for everybody. And when you get there, a website, as I said, it's success for you. And the nice part about it, it's not only how to be successful in business, because
What's that?
we put together a program. We call it the Golden Role Society Golden Dollar. And the size of the card is the size of a USA $1 bill. Now, I have to tell this because the radio show that we're doing right now, worldwide, actually, it goes to 97 countries. So all of the countries might be listening. Most of them, all of them, are English speaking, or at least they can understand. Hopefully they can understand what we're trying to say to them. Stressing the fact that we're not selling anything, but we want to help them in 97 countries be more successful and have better lives for themselves. Because we have this golden dollar, and on one side of the dollar is an action plan for living. How to enjoy your life, getting along with people, being courteous and kind, and then just being friendly. It really works. And it's available. And on the other side of the dollar bill is an action plan for business. And this is put together by people who are successful in business. One example that I always like to give, the guy was one of the senior vice presidents with AT&T. Brilliant man. And he said, yes, here's some of the best. We teach people and the people working for us and everybody involved. So that's how to be successful. Why make the mistakes that have already been made? Don't invest in that sort of thing because it doesn't work. Don't let people take advantage of you. And the golden dollar, somebody gave it a nice nickname. They call it the lucky buck. Because in the US of A, the dollar bill, they call it a buck. $1 is $1. Anyway, neither here nor there. But those are available. And people always say, hey, Len, how do I get one of these lucky buckets? Well, I tell people it's very simple. And we're not selling it, but we ask people, send a stamped, self-addressed envelope to the Golden Rule Society. In other words, we receive it, we open it up, there's your stamped, self-addressed envelope, and what we do is we simply take the lucky buck, put it in your envelope, and mail it back to you. It's all free, no charge. And wouldn't you know, people, when they submit it, they always usually put a dollar or two in there, $10, whatever they want to do with the donations. And yes, we're legally authorized to receive donations. And what we do is we pay our expenses for the telephones and the televisions and whatever the business is. But we don't get paid, so whatever extra staff we have, we just donate it to other charities. Simple as that. We're not here to make money. And that's the nice part about it. So that's available to you. And if you want to get it, mail it to the Golden Rule Society. Very simple. Post Office Box 711. That's easy to remember. Our hometown is in Coronado, California. And the zip is 92118. Simple as that. So you send it, the next thing you know, you're going to have a better life. Guaranteed. And I'd give you a money back guarantee, but I can't because it's free. Anyway, we've got some other things that this is one program that we're updating it and we're working on it right now. But it's called the Wise Traveler, and like I say, we're making updates, so it's not available right now, but it's going to be anytime. So anytime you want to go, excuse me, it's discounts on travel, and there's no cost, there's no affiliation. You don't have to be a member. You don't have to send money to us or anything like that. And an example I use is a friend of mine here in San Diego, California area, had to go on a business trip to New York City with his wife. And I'll just give you an example. It was at the time. They said, yes, that'll be around $1,000. And he says, well, I'm affiliated with the Golden Rule Society charity. And like I say, there's no cost to be affiliated. You don't have to go to meetings. You don't have to pay memberships or anything like that. And they said, you're affiliated with, okay, that'll be a little less than $600. So he saved over $400 on one trip. And they're all available. And the airlines themselves, most all of them, are involved in the program. And if they have empty seats, they're going to offer discounts because they'd rather have half price rather than carrying empty seats back and forth across the country. But that's the nice part about it. And there's more to it. Oh gosh, oh dears. We have one thing that I particularly like, and again, I'm not selling this, but I use it all the time. It's called Your Video Emails, and you can find it on our website. And what this means is that instead of sending emails to people that they have to read it and over, what I like to do is I like to send a video email, maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes at the most. But people can see me, they can hear my voice, they can see my smile, they can see my gesture, and it's very personal. And I give them the message, and they said, that's very nice, rather than reading it in and it goes on. But you know what I'm saying. But that's available to you. It's on our website. We have another one that's for the most people in the United States. It's called the Prescription Discount Program. And what does that mean? It means that they offer this to people with the prescriptions, but they don't do a lot of advertising. Are you surprised? No. But savings as much as 80%. Wow, that's very nice. Happened to me one day. I heard about it, so I went to the drugstore, gave the prescription that I got from my doctor, and I said, by the way, are you members of the Prescription Discount Program? And they said, the guy looked back and forth, and he says, Captain Kaine, no, we're not. But across the street, 4 blocks down, the drugstore over there, they are involved. So I said, thank you very much, and I got my prescription. But the next time I got one, I went to that other drugstore, and I made a significant saving. So comes time to get the prescription drugs from the doctor for myself or my wife, we just save our money, and that because it's available. But all you have to do is ask. And it goes on and on, all the benefits that you can get for just being associated and affiliated with the Golden Rule Society charity. And the show that you're listening to today, we do it for 5 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm honored and humbled to do the Friday show. And the nice part about it, Mary Stanley and Mr. Ron Clayton, super duper people, senior advisors in the Golden Rule Society charity. Wonderful. And like I say, we've got a number more. I mentioned the guy's name earlier, Mr. Jim Kyle, and he is offering his services because he tells people that, look, if you want to know anything more about the Intiva Health Program, he says, because they're always making new and wonderful opportunities for people to save their lives, stop the suffering and all that sort of stuff. Because, as an example, every time I meet a doctor, a medical doctor, I always ask him, are you familiar with the Intiva Health Program? And most of them have said, oh yes, I've heard about them. I said, have you visited their site? Well, no, not yet. And honest to goodness, every one of those doctors that I talked about, they'll call me back a few days later and say, Len, why the heck didn't you tell me about this sooner? What an organization, Intiva Health. And you can contact Mr. Jim Kyle. He has a telephone number that you can call. He's a senior vice president with them, and easy to help because it just makes sense. What a wonderful man he is. God bless him. So there are many other organizations and all sorts that always want to come aboard and be who. And people always ask me, say, Len, how did you get to find and put together a Golden Rule Society charity? What made you do that? Because you were a fighter pilot all those years. Well, I finished my Navy fighter career. As a matter of fact, I got to brag a little bit. My last organization that I had in the Navy, the Navy Chief of Naval Operations had awards that he awarded to the top 5 squadrons every year. 5 squadrons. They would select 5 winners and they give them awards. Well, I had Fighter Squadron number 301, my final year flying F-14s, Phantoms. And guess what? We won, our squadron, we won all 5 of the awards.
Yay.
It was amazing. I just thought that was just really great. But so I'm bragging a little bit. And after I retired, from the squadron, I moved on. A year later, I got a notification. They said, Len, you've been selected for not a 1-star admiral, which everybody gets to be. He said, I was selected for 2-star admiral. Wow. That really tugged at the heartstrings again. Sadly, I've got 3 different holes in my head that prevented me physically from accepting. And I told them, I said, look, I can't accept this. So give the award or give the promotion and to another captain that would be honored to do that. So they did. So I retired from the Navy, and an airline in the good old San Diego area, it was called PSA, Pacific Southwest Airlines. They called me and said, hey, Len, would you like to be one of the instructors here? I said, well, that sounds good because I enjoy flying airplanes. Matter of fact, we have 2 sons who both were Navy pilots, and now they're both, like their dad, airline captains as well. Well, most fun you can have with your clothes on, flying airplanes. The thing is that they asked me to be a pilot and an instructor, which I did. That was nice. So one day, flying, and we flew up and down the west coast of the United States, all the various cities. And one Christmas, I got 2 electric shavers for Christmas. One for my wife Ann, and one from her mother back in Pennsylvania. So I asked all my fighter pilot buddies and Navy pilot captain buddies, what am I going to do with 2 electric shavers? And they all told me the same thing. They said, Len, you shave your face with one and you shave your legs with the other one, of course. What would you expect from fighter pilots and all of it? Well, anyway, so I was on the airplane one day flying and I said, ladies and gentlemen, I got this electric shaver. It's worth $25. It's never been used, brand new, but I'm willing to do this. I'll make a deal. I'm going to swap it with anybody in the back who would like to swap something of little greater value. And I'm going to keep swapping with people. We did it all on paper. We didn't know physical transfers. And so I kept doing that. And the chief pilot of the airline said, Len, what are you doing? So I told him, he says, oh my God, you can't be doing that. So he says, I got to talk to the owner of the airline. So he did. And the owner called me and said, Len, that is great. Keep up your game. Great. So we did. We kept on going on. By the way, long story short, what we did, we had enough gifts that we accumulated all on paper. So I contacted all of the charities in the San Diego area that wanted to play. I said, I have all these gifts. And what you want to do, if you want to, you can offer somebody to buy a card where if they make a little donation to the organization, their name gets picked up, they get one of the gifts. Long story short, those gifts that we raised, that started with a $25 this thing, we raised almost $1 million just having fun with the passengers, and they all loved it. And the money went to charity. So I had a good buddy who's an attorney, and we were golfers together, and he said, Len, here's the deal. You've got to form a charitable nonprofit organization right now, because people are going to say, what's he been doing with the money? So when you form a corporation, you have to make all the reports and show what you're doing and how you're doing. Very easy for us because we don't get paid. And when anybody makes a donation, we give it to people who are pretty into it. So that's very nice. But that's where the Golden Rule Society charity came out. Like I say, almost 53 years ago. And I'm going on and on, probably boring you to tears, but I hope not. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Ron Clayton, and I'll finish up at the end with him, but he's got wonderful things that are going on. People that he helps and all the wonderful things, the programs, they just go on and on. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Ron, and suck it to me, would you?
Oh, we sure will. Well, you now have been cleared for takeoff, sir. Um, I'd like to just talk a little bit about our director of communications and internet communication systems. That's Mary Stanley, who is our chief operator of washer. And he has aligned for us a new program that's going to allow us a higher level of communicating on this show. In January, we had to change our system because the one we had for 10 years went away. And to find the kind of program what we were doing is, well, it's been a challenge. But now we have this new system, and as she's upgrading it, we're going to be able to have board meetings through the system because we have a board of the the 501c3 nonprofits. We have a group of nonprofits lead and develop programs. We have radio shows that we do besides today is, of course, honoring Captain Len Kaine. But on Monday, we have Hometown Heroes. On Tuesdays, we discuss and broadcast about the travel industry. Rick Reese, who is expert in the international development of private business, um, the home-based operation of travel, the opportunities that exist, the educational programs, and the training. And then on Wednesday, we have health and wellness. Um, and Beth is our resident nutritionist and dietitian. She's a certified person who operates in, I mean, like public schools in Eastern New York, near Albany, all utilize her services for certifying the food that kids get in the schools and the programs they and she also services the different folks in the area and just hospitals, helping people to maximize their health. So she came aboard on our Wednesday radio show for health and wellness, and has been advising, and now she's become a member of the whole collection board. But you can come on Wednesday at noon and talk directly with her. She has an incredible expertise in helping people with diabetes, and there's been so many dramatic changes in health, uh, pharmaceuticals, and methods of treating diabetes, and we're making incredible gains. I know for myself, I found it produces a significant diabetes control agent called Rybelsus, and through the information that's found for us today, I have diabetes under control. It's just funny because this material, this medicine costs $1,300 a month. But we have a program, and the manufacturer actually offers a program so that they send you the multiple month supply for free. And I think it's kind of significant. People talk about pharmaceutical companies. Well, I think on both ends, they produce the medicine that have worked. Plus, they're offering programs to help people afford it, and that makes a real big difference. So we're just fortunate to have people like Beth. Thursday in the past, we had Bob Oakley, the former AT&T vice president, who works with his son producing homes for immigrants and folks that are coming to the country that are legal or they want to be legal, and he helps them get their citizenship put together. He's a family man, he has 11 kids, and he's semi-retired. He's out building homes and apartments for immigrants coming to the country. So he's tied up. He shares a lot about families and working that. So he's here, very reliable, and caring, and explanations of what he does and who people is significant. And then we come back around for Len Kaine Day. We see Rear Admiral, known generally as Captain Len Kaine. But we got the big shot on this every Friday. And we're proud of them. It's such a privilege, and we thank take the time to share with us, make himself available. So we are the Podbean live show. You can go to Podbean and look up the Mission Life Radio Show and join us at noon. And you can encourage your friends. We'll have a email site with a QR code that you can scan it into your phone and go connect directly on your phone or your computer very shortly. It's set up. We just got it operational. And we're working on that for us right now. So, guys, I'd like to encourage you to have a wonderful weekend. I know there's some nasty weather, and we want to keep all these people in our prayers that have been attacked. There's been a lot of other people that have been killed, and hurricanes are nothing to think lightly about. And you have to always make sure that wherever your house is at, you're in a good spot. And I don't recommend you live in the what they call target rear to called trailers. I think they put targets at the top of them because it always seems to get hit. Well, I just pray for people to be safe. And we thank you for your involvement today. And thank you, Len. You're always outstanding. Thank you.
Hey, Ron, I just
Yes,
have one little thing. I told people about the Worldwide Kindness campaign, and I'd like very much to give it to people. It just takes less than a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the Golden Rule Society's Worldwide Kindness campaign. And it goes like this. With kindness and love and hope in your heart for peace in the world, treat others the way you want to be treated, truthfully, with dignity and respect. And when you do that, you're sharing the love that your God gives you with others. And when you do it with a smile. And that's the way it goes. And remember, many, many years ago, a gentleman by the name of Aesop said this: a kindness is never wasted. So, God bless you all. Thank you for being here on the shore with us. Take good care and be kind. And I'm going to say bye bye for now. Thank
bye
you.
now.